Hi guys, this is Yasmine,
And I'm Corisa.
and welcome to the first episode of The Girls Are All Right. Um, Welcome. We are new to this whole podcasting business, but hopefully we'll find our way, I guess,
We'll eventually find our way.
eventually. So I guess what talk about the first thing we should talk about is like how we met, because that was a very interesting situation.
Yes, the introduction to our story.
Yes. Um, so we met doing fangirl stuff, aka stalking, boy bands. And what we mean by that is, well, we live in New York City, and if you don't know by now, New York City has a lot of celebrities walking around all over the place. We have a lot of tonight shows and morning shows and concert venues and stuff. So I mean, us younger versions of ourselves took it upon our broke selves to run out there and chase after a bunch of men, mainly. um, in our late teens and early 20s. Instead of bar hopping and stuff, we were in front of hotels from morning to night.
Thing is that when you're in your 20s doing this, it's a little bit easier because you can get into the bars. You can get into like the hotels and stuff like that. And then those that are underage, like me at the time, have to wait outside and like picture Stitch in the rain when he made that sad face and his ears went down. That was basically
I mean, granted, uh, I was broke, so I was just still waiting outside. I had no money to buy any drinks anyway. I mean,
should have had them buy you drinks.
girl, I was looking like a hot potato.
I remember my corny ass. So whenever I'm like shy or I want to like talk to somebody, I always compliment them. I don't do that anymore. Now I'm just like, hey, what's up? You know, but back then I remember I must have been like, if someone introduced us, I might have been like, oh, I like your shoes. And I remember complimenting you and you were like, thanks. And then in my head, I'm like, oh God, she hates me already.
That only because you feel like you thought that was there's a lot of mean spirited people in this whole like tiny community of like fangirls and fanboys that like to share and like hide information. So I thought I was gonna be mean, which I am actually was. I was one of the nice ones. Like if you were to come to me and ask me, if this said boy band or whoever is staying here, I would have been like, yeah, like we're all waiting here. You can come and talk to me. But I remember when we first met. It was after the boy band that came and went, called Midnight Red. Hopefully a few people know about that. They were like right coming up, like right after the Wanted. Hopefully people know about that. We're alternative fangirls and fanboys, so we're not into One Direction. We're anti One Direction, so sorry about it.
Except we love Harry Styles.
I mean, yeah, I'm for Harry Styles right now, but like back then I was anti One Direction, like all the way. Like how they say how they say ACAP, like ACAP for One Direction. So like A1DB. Like all One Direction is bad. Whatever. So it was after the Midnight Red show, and like a whole bunch of us just like knew where the hotel was. And we went there. I remember seeing you, another person you won't speak about, and I was like, oh, there's only two people here. Great. So I went up to you and you were like all, chubby faced and shy. And I was just like,
Oh
you
my
wait.
gosh.
And I was like, you waiting for Midnight Red? Like I was direct. At this point, I was very direct with everything. And I'm like, who you waiting for? And you were like, Midnight Red. And I was just like, okay, we're at the, or my friend, I was like, we're at the right place. And then you were just like, I've never done this before. Like, I'm just like, how does this go? And I was just like, it's all right. I got you. And then they came out and I was just like, take a picture.
But I remember complimenting you, so I might have like tried to break the ice even more.
Mm-hmm.
I know like, the whole waiting process can be like very awkward and very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how we had the information. I think because it was right across the venue. We saw them walking.
It really was. And it really was. And like one point, I don't know if it was the same show or another show, but we had just followed them to the place. Like they just walked out and went
Well,
to the place.
yeah, like the one that I thought was cute. Eric, I think his name is Eric. Is that the one with the curly hair?
Is it? I
I
think
can't
so.
remember. One had curly hair. You know how I feel about like curls,
Yeah.
but he was like, yeah, just come follow us. And in my head, I'm like, okay, this can either mean two things. One, I'm gonna be kidnapped, or two, we're gonna be able to just like talk to them, chill, get some photos. Yeah. So I was like, I'm with my friend, and you know, I'm like, other people might catch on. And then you guys came, and I'm like, all right, they seem like they're like old and mature and can protect us. So if anything goes down, because there was like five of them.
Thanks for putting the responsibility on y'all minors at the time. Damn.
Girl, remember I still put the responsibility on you when I was like 19, which we could talk about later.
For real. I was like straight up just mother hen to a lot of people in this community. But
Mind you, she's a Libra, so this is kind of like out of her sun sign spectrum. So you know the other placements definitely kick in when she's fangirling.
definitely my water. Yeah, I feel like my Cancer moon. If you don't know anything about astrology, also yeah, we're gonna talk about boy bands, we're gonna talk about astrology. If you're not for that, you can exit stage left on this podcast because all we're gonna talk about because we are girls. Remember that. So
We'll do a podcast on astrology for those that still want to get more information.
yeah, so when we mean like sun signs, you mean like the sign that you were born under, which is like if someone asks you what sign you are blank for basic layman's terms. But yeah, I mean my Libra just wants everything to be harmonious. So only reason why like I would go up to people and whatever, so I'm just like I want to make sure that I get my picture and my 5 minutes of conversation and my group. I actually want to make sure that me and my group got. So if it meant having to what's the
Form a
word?
line. Remember you
Form a
did that
line.
for SNL?
I did that for the Wanted too.
What?
When Nathan came out at one of the hotels. Mind you, okay, so for backstory, the Wanted is an English boy band, just like One Direction. They both came out at the same time, but the Wanted had less, I guess,
Support?
yeah, less support than One Direction did. They had like a
Whole ass army.
yeah, they had a better marketing and everything behind them than
The Wanted only had a colony. It was just us. You know? It was a new settlement.
Yeah, it was a new. They had a nation. We were settlements. We were Commonwealth. So that's what we are compared to Wanted. You know, granted, I would say the benefits of being a Commonwealth to a small band or small boy band is that you actually get the time to speak to them compared to like big boy bands like One Direction or like BTS or whatnot. Like you'd be lucky to finally like, okay, you've waited out all day in the hot sun or the rain or like the cold or whatnot, and you finally get like a wave or a hello or even a picture. Because I've seen girls get arrested for like sneaking up into the hotels. Yeah, trying to like get One Direction. I've seen just girls just like pass out.
Sometimes they chase down like cars.
Chasing down cars, which I'm like, why would you chase after a motor vehicle?
Right?
Who does that benefit? No one. Not doesn't benefit your legs or nothing. I mean, exercise at that one moment, but girl, are you really going to catch them? First of all, I'm a big girl. I'm not running after no man.
Yeah, no man at
No
all.
group of men in a speeding motor vehicle. You will never catch me doing that. Never.
Especially in New York City.
Especially in New York City. Like, if I'm going to get hit by a delivery bike as well, like, no. No, that's why I always had. I felt like I was like a cab dispatcher where it was like trust me, the way how I had this, and this is some. If you're listening, if you want tips on how to catch your favorite boy band or to catch your favorite celebrity or whatnot, and also if you want to keep a good standing with them, let's say you want to meet them again, and maybe the first time you met them and you just got a picture, you can have a conversation, you kind of want them to remember you. I think that's like what everyone is longing for when we meet these celebrities, is that we want them to remember us and be like, oh, hey, how are you? And have that little serotonin. So this is what I learned along the way. If you're gonna be by yourself, keep vigilant, keep your phone charged, and all of that. Realize, keep comfortable shoes first of all, because you're gonna be standing.
Oh, that's the other thing. Do not, do not, do not, do not. I don't know how much I can say do not, but do not go on private property. Like their homes, like a lot of celebrities live in apartments here, or like they rent them out. That's like, first of all, that's just weird.
Yeah.
That's like what do you think is gonna like happen? You know,
We're only justifying this because it's hotels.
yeah.
And anybody go up in a hotel, and
Restaurants and hotels, there's like bars and hotels. So it is private, but it's also like public. So it's like a fine line.
Yeah, like we're only meeting these people because they're working. So it would be like they're here for like promo, or to promote a movie, to promote music. Like they're working, and the meeting fans and all that is also going to be part of their job. But don't follow them home. Don't do that. I guess that's how you get arrested.
Or a restraining order.
Or a restraining order. You don't want to do that.
Well, they'll definitely remember you then.
Yeah. In a bad light. You don't want that negative remembrance. You want a good, positive memory from them. Also, if they are like here for promo or whatnot and they have kids and family with them, don't ask them when they have. Oh my
gosh, remember Bastille?
Oh my god. Oh, so we also go for bands. So we love this band, Bastille, and they kind of know us. They know us that we're always there, either always in the front row.
We catch them during promo, which is really good for their publicity as well. Like they do promo where it's accessible to meet them, like the Today Show or Good Morning America. Like we've gone to those things, and like sometimes at like concerts they'll like during sound check or whatever. So I'm really grateful for all those opportunities that we had. But I just wanted to do a disclaimer. Dan always remembers Yaz. It's really funny because he was not her favorite. He was actually my favorite, and
he's still not my favorite.
Okay, I mean, well, I adore that man. Like he's just so talented. I would just love to have a conversation with him, but like it's not like a romantic thing. It's just more of like an admiration. Like, dude, keep doing you. You're so cool. Thank you for giving me something to do as a hobby, and like, you know, that also solidified our relationship though. That jump from boy bands, because you know, honestly, it was their fall, not ours. No shade. But then we jumped onto something, no shade again, but like better, you know, and more consistent, and our taste in music kind of expanded as well. But we could have conversations with them, but I was like mute. The second I saw this man, I could not speak.
Super nervous. That's the thing, because I feel like it as a whole, doing like fangirl stuff and like meeting celebrities also is a good way for when like you're trying to meet like just regular bands on the come up, and you learn people skills and you learn geography of your own city. Like we're not from Manhattan, we're from the other boroughs. So we had to learn everything's on a grid, and we learn how to get from here and here and there. I feel like in general, like everywhere in the city, I learned how to get through chasing after boy bands, chasing after celebrities. I'm just like, okay, this is here on the west side. That means I gotta take this train. I gotta walk here. Oh, it's on the east side. I gotta go here. Oh, I know what a crosstown bus is. Like, we had to learn all those things as well as like people skills, where it's like, okay, you have to realize that this celebrity is just placed on a pedestal that we do. This person is just a person, just a regular schmegular person, and a lot of people in our group like to push me in the forefront to ask them for stuff. Not only Corisa, but a lot of other people. I was the main person to ask them because there's a lot of us.
Well, you were the first person to like stop them. So I hate to use this, but we were kind of like mice. Like we'd be in a corner watching and waiting, and the second we saw them, we'd like spring out of nowhere and
We
like we'd
did.
have
That
you
was
at the forefront to be like, hey, like blah blah blah.
Yasmine, go talk to them. Yasmine, go talk to the manager. Go whatever. Because the thing with me is like I'm gonna regret being out here and not getting anything. Also, I'm with the group that complains about everything. So, granted, I'm like, let me make sure I go and get mine and everybody gets theirs. So I had to be like the bearer and like carry all that anxiety and like a heart dropping when like I go up to them and have the most like, hi, can I get a picture, please? Can me and my friends like my voice would go up so many octaves. I was scared as hell, but it works.
I feel like because we have technology, it's so much easier to learn about a person's personality through like some fan people, they'll post like their meeting, like I think that's kind of weird though, like they'll be like secretly recording them meeting somebody, or they'll be like, oh, say hi to my friend, blah blah blah, and like some people will just be like hi Bethany, while others will be like, hey Bethany, I'm here with your cool friends, you know, like stuff like that. So you can kind of like get the vibe, but that's the other thing, like they're normal people, so you can't base it off of that. Sometimes they have their bad days, sometimes they don't want to be like, you know, bothered, sometimes they, you know, are with their relatives and you have to be respectful, or some days they just like are like over the moon like about meeting you. So don't take it personally if the person's just not vibing the way you've seen them vibe with someone else.
And like another thing, don't ever pick like the lead singer, or I guess one that has like in the boy band that has like the most vocals, or don't pick the youngest, because they will always have so many girls around them and it's going to be very hard to get to them. It's going to, like, the market of the girls is so saturated and you really have to like fight tooth and nail to get like maybe 2 words in and get like a valid selfie. That's why I think for my career in boy bannery, I was pretty successful because I never picked like the lead singer. I never picked like the youngest one. You always pick the youngest or the lead singer. And I feel like that's always putting you in a downfall.
Sometimes they kind of have like the vibe that they're either, I don't know if it gets to their head, or honestly, like they could have like a bad day where they just don't want to talk to anyone. But sometimes your favorite, and by your favorite, I mean mine, would just walk straight into wherever they had to go. Like they didn't stop.
Oh, I hated that. That's the thing, because the favorites always know that they are favorite. Definitely know that other people are out there for them. So if you're playing favorites, you really have to like know, okay, I think at one point you're gonna have to like learn their schedule, because that's the thing. Because I had another friend that was into Nathan from The Wanted, and we learned his schedule, where it's like, all right, if it's like after a show or after something at night, he may or may not come down, whereas the rest of them did and went out and go partied. So if anything, like
legal in the States.
well, oh yeah, he wasn't. Was he old enough?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, because we were the same age, so he wasn't old enough to drink or anything. So if he were to come down, he would come out to just meet fans and then go upstairs. But you had to be like really precise with that. Or he'd be coming back from Starbucks because he loved Starbucks.
Especially when he dated Ariana.
Oh, that happened!
They'd always be at Starbucks, like the same Starbucks, and everyone would go to meet them. I mean, I grew out of him after like 2 years, but I know 2 years is long, but in fangirl years, 2 years goes by very quickly.
I mean, it came like every 3 months or something. Like we were busy when The Wanted was here. We were busy out there. We made a whole itinerary. Where we're like, okay, they're here for this show. They're doing this at like Sirius Radio. They're doing this Tonight Show this day. So we were like, all right, whatever schedule you had this week, it's cleared out. You realize you go up out of this whole fangirl stuff. When you get a job, when you get a man, I think that's the funny thing when we realize like, okay, this person retired from doing that, or that person is not doing it anymore. Because you see on Instagram or like social media, like you don't see them, oh, a picture of this celebrity, a picture of this band member anymore. It's just like a picture of them living their lives.
yeah, they're married, they have children, they're traveling, they're like
Mhm.
working. I'm not sure if I said that already, but like, yeah, once you have something to, like I said, I'm very thankful that they gave me something to do. Once you have something that's kind of like secure,
Mhm.
um, or just something that can help you expand, you kind of like get over it.
Yeah.
And you see
For
them as like regular people too.
it's kind of above us now, and it's 2020. No one's being booked to do anything, so we're just letting out all the secrets.
Yeah, well, you're booked for something else.
Yes, I got a lot of dick appointments, so I'm booked. I don't need to be out here chasing after a man that's just gonna give me a selfie. What? So, as people who I would say we kind of grew out of it, like this is for like you young teens and young 20-year-olds or whoever that still wants to like try to meet somebody. This is like the right way how to do it, where it's not like you'll get in trouble for doing things.
While respecting their privacy. That's a really big thing. Like we were
Exactly.
always respectful of privacy.
Hmm. Exactly. So another of Yasmine's rules, which I like to do when I get my photos taken or whatever. Like let's say they have a show. Whoever band, this is more for bands, not for boy bands, because boy bands are always gonna, it's going to be tricky trying to like get them at certain places, but more so for bands. So if you want to meet whatever particular band and get a picture with them, maybe try to have a little conversation. I would say, other than going to places where they're promoting music, if they have a show, that if you missed all those opportunities to get them at a radio station, to get them at a Tonight Show or morning show, because maybe there's a lot of people there or you couldn't make it. If you're going to their show, make this is what I do when they have a show in our city. I make a whole day out of it. So I would make sure I have that day requested off, and
Bring
I
your
would go
portable charger.
exactly portable charger, comfortable shoes, whatever nice outfit, just comfortable shoes. Make sure that you go to their stage door for a sound check before the show. I mean, there's no sound check after the show, but so there's always going to be sound check before the show. So rehearsal, basically, depending on which band it is. If it has like if they have a lot of notoriety, then it may be still tricky because there may be some people out there. But let's say it's up and coming bands or a band that has like gradual success, or that they may be able to sell for fans. Go to the sound check. Sound checks are normally between 1 and 3. They have to get there for sound check. Go there and get your photos, get your selfies and everything, get your little conversation with them, tell them how much of their music and how much your music inspired you. You got to tattoo the lyrics, whatever. Do all what you got to do at sound check. When you want to ask them, hey, can you say hi to so and whatnot? Do all of that before they go in for sound check or during sound check, because they're not going to be able to do that at the end of the show. At the end of the show, they're tired and they've been drinking and they've been around their friends or like hi or whatever that they do. There'll be some members who may want to stop, and also everybody and their mom already have ran out maybe like halfway through the end of the end of like the main song that they have at the end of the show to go to the barricade and wait. So if you that's why I try to be ahead of the curve, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get it done. They're fresh. They smell like cologne, whatever. Get the pictures, get that stuff before the show. Then hey, go home if you want to go home. Chill in the city if you want to chill in the city, or whatever. Either way, it doesn't matter, because by the time the show is done and everything, you get to go home on time, early. Your feet don't hurt as much because you already got what you needed to get done.
Yes, and if they're cigarette smokers, which is like gross, they'll come out multiple times during sound check.
Oh, definitely. You better hope your favorite smokes cigarettes.
Yeah, yeah, we don't like that in men, but you know what? For this, very beneficial, they'll come out like 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to get your little photos, get your little
Like the
whatever here and
1975.
there. Like 1975, they smoke like crazy. I mean, nowadays, that's the thing. With them, nowadays, it's iffy. You really got, I feel like with that, you really gotta
we were like ahead of the curve, so they didn't even know
Yeah.
what they were getting themselves into. Like we were just talking to them.
It's definitely easier. I mean, stopping for fans. I mean, granted, they haven't had a show in the city in like a couple of years because the last show they had in New York was upstate, and I'm not going upstate.
Oh no, for any reason, not
Yeah.
even one of your appointments.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know why they didn't do it. And then they did MSG for this year, and then it got canceled because of Corona. So, but like, okay, so because bands like 1975, Bastille, The Neighborhood, which howsoever, the whole trifecta, whatever. Um, you really need to get on these bands on when they were on their rise, because right now you're out of luck in trying to meet them. I mean, granted, if this year wasn't a pandemic, maybe, but it's going to be very hard to try and catch them now when they're so mainstream and popular and everyone's out there trying to run after them. So it's going to be really hard. I like we said about learning about geography and everything of the city. You're going to learn to be an uncertified FBI agent.
Word.
You're going to figure out where this hotel is at based off the buildings around it. You're going to realize, oh, this is in Chinatown. This is in Lower East Side. This is on Upper West Side. Because that's how we figured it out. We were like, okay, there is for the Wanted, especially one of my friends found that the Wanted was at the Hudson Hotel because there's a picture of a bunch of people around them and there was a CVS across the street, and she looked up every CVS
Oh my gosh.
in the city and found it. And looked at every CVS in the city, and she found it. So you gotta do your due diligence.
Wait, but it's so classy in there. So that's like really okay. I'm not, it seems like I'm throwing shade, that I'm just being honest. That's how I am.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why it was so hard finding them too is because they didn't fit the aesthetic of the Hudson. The Hudson's got this like upscale kind of like, well, they have like this burger joint, and I used to love their truffle fries. Oh my god, I couldn't say that word,
Okay,
but I don't eat that anymore. But they got this like library bar, which is like these are guys straight from like Manchester and Gloucester. I don't even remember where the rest of them are from, but these are like loud, rambunctious.
You're trying to say they're ghetto as hell, and they don't belong in that nice ass hotel. That they gaudy as hell.
Yeah, we're thinking they probably are like somewhere in the Lower East Side, or like Mr. Purple or something. Somewhere where they can get crazy on the weekends or like the weeknights. I mean, it's 8 p.m. somewhere. But yeah, I think that you have to do those extremes. Like I even thought they would probably stay at like the Gazenfort. That's like
Oh yeah,
fancy like bar area, but me thinking of the Wanted at the Hudson is just like so strange to me. Even at the rooftop bar, it's just so nice and elegant. Oh my god.
She's trying to say they ghetto as hell. She's like, this ghetto ass boy band does not deserve to be out here.
They're very simple, which I like. They're simple and humble. Except Siva. Wait, no, Siva definitely could be at the Hudson.
Bougie.
Never mind that. Bougie as hell.
She was like, they ghetto. They ghetto and they loud as hell and they trash. These are trash English people who don't belong in the hut.
Were they drunk on the Thanksgiving Day parade on their float?
Granted, they were at the Hudson. They were at
The Dream?
No, the other one. This is now we're dropping like good like information on different hotels.
Oh shit. Wait, didn't they have their own TV show for a hot minute? Oh my gosh, it's all coming back.
They did. So here is another tip for y'all. A lot of these celebrities are either going to be at the Hudson, at
Oh my gosh, I feel like you should not drop this information.
Oh, maybe not. Granted, you'll find out, and definitely do like I said, do a lot of networking.
Yes.
Networking is very beneficial. Make friends. This is how this is how I met Corisa. This is how I had like a huge group of people where we were all like being sent different which ways. Like you network with these people, with other people your age, or network with paparazzi, because paparazzi will know everything, because there's some celebrities that tell paparazzi where they're going to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I got my engagement ring today, so I'm gonna be here. You can get first dibs on the photo.
Exactly. So befriend paparazzi. Sometimes they can be very smug and very whatever, but there are a few who are actually very nice, and if you're nice to them, they'll be nice to you, and they'll tell you which hotel that they're staying at or where they're going to be, and just stay out of their way. And it's good. Befriend paparazzi, befriend other fangirls and fanboys, get each other's Twitter, get each other's Instagram, so you don't have to go alone. Make friends. That's how we became friends. I became friends with some other people based through like Tumblr and doing like other boy bands. Like I was a super, and still am a super Big Time Rush fan. And y'all can clown me and roast me all you want, but you can't deny like each album had bops. I put us 24/7, but let's not go there. But yes, when I first started, I was chasing after Big Time Rush, and I made a bunch of friends there, some longtime friends, and I got all my photos each time. I was a James girl. I was probably the only James girl out there, because it was mainly Kendall or Logan people. There was always the same two Hispanic girls for Carlos, and they spoke in Spanish.
Wait, were Kendall and Logan the two?
They were the two popular ones here.
Damn it, those were my favorite too. Why does this keep happening to me? I always love the favorite. Am I basic?
I didn't say all of that.
Am I basic?
You're not.
Do I not have refined, eloquent taste? Is it basic? Just be honest with me.
I wouldn't say. I would say it's.
You told me I like bland guys, so this could be.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. You know what? You are basic. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being basic, because you can understand the practicalities of it.
I guess. I know what I signed up for.
You can use all your newfound knowledge to just grab someone basic.
Oh, thank you.
So
not only are the guys that I'm attracted to bland in your eyes, but they're basic as well.
But that's the thing, in my eyes, to other people,
wait, I asked Yaz if me and this person would make a cute couple, and she was like, I mean, I guess. Like, what if I can't, like, what if I was like dating someone, like some, like, I don't know, let's just pretend the next person I'm with is like some person I meet like at a coffee shop or something, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the one. And then on our wedding day, Yaz is there as one of my bridesmaids. Of course, y'all, we met fangirling, and she's gonna be a bridesmaid, and it's been like 7 years since we've known each other. 7 years? Around that time.
Yeah.
Almost a decade, girl. We gotta celebrate. Let's go to like Fiji or something.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be like, aren't we like the cutest couple ever? And she's just gonna be like, I mean,
for you.
Oh, okay. Well, at least that was kind of like cold, but at least it was sincere.
No, whatever guy. That's how you know that we'll never fight over a band member or a guy, because we both have different tastes.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about what we like in men and what we don't like in an upcoming podcast. But I think that's what also works, though. That's the dynamic of like the fangirl thing, because a lot of fangirls are always like, what's your favorite, when they first meet you? Exactly. And they do that because they want to know, are you an enemy or are you a friend? Well, not an enemy. It's mostly like a friend.
No, for real. It's, are you an enemy?
When it came to Dan, I'd be like, who do you like in this band? Oh, Dan's not your favorite? Okay, great. We could be friends. And that was like the ugliest moment of my life, like that time period. Because now I'm just like, oh, you like him too? How sweet. Like, even now, like, if like, let's say at the coffee shop, like you were there or my friend Anna was there, and Anna has different taste than me too, which is why I feel like we get along so well, because we would never fight over a guy. But let's just say all three of us are there and we're all like, oh my god, this man is so like cute and he's giving us all attention. I'd be like, all right, well, we can all agree that he's an attractive man, but there's no fucking way I'm gonna fight over him. Even if I felt like the connection was stronger, there's no fucking way. Like, I'm not letting a guy get in between my friends. So I also saw that too. Like sometimes it does bring out the ugly side. Like you see your friends do like crazy shit, you know, to
Yeah.
get their photo.
Really be weary of who you make friends with, because like let her get caught up and do that. You don't want to have that reflection on us, because then whatever boy band or band member, they'll look at you and be like, oh, so you're affiliated with these rambunctious girls. Check your friends. Be like, look, if you're not gonna chill and relax, I can't bring you to these functions because we can't get anything done. Like, you're putting us more in a hole, and they're thinking that we can't control ourselves. You got to learn how to control those emotions. As starstruck as you got to be, you really got to swallow it down to be able to talk to these people like they're humans, like just like you, and be like, look, hi, I'm out here. Can I get a picture? I love you guys. It's on the third. Just simple. Because if you go running to them, girl, you get blacklisted like that. Like they're like, don't ever come back here, whatever.
But they feel like fearful, you know, like
Yeah.
this goes back to like privacy and stuff. You don't want them to feel like they're in like a life-threatening situation
Mm-hmm.
because that's another thing. Like for them to just stop when there's a big crowd, they're risking their safety so that you can get your selfie. You
Yeah.
want to be respectful, you know, be sincere. Like don't try to be something that you're not, because that's not, no one likes that. And just like respect boundaries. Don't be
Word.
like hobbling over and just being like, I don't know how to explain it without sounding like too harsh
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Just don't be super fangirlish about it. Like, just don't be super hyper. I definitely like. I remember the neighborhood came, and they stayed somewhere. No, they stayed at the same place, but I got in trouble because I went there because I know how to go. I know when to go to those places. Granted, I did move from a different hotel, but the hotel that they were
Wait, side note, that hotel was my designated poop spot
at.
for like for like the is that considered, that's not Midtown. That's like Upper West Side, right? That's like my okay, so one of the good things about going to like these hotels is that yeah, you can walk in and use the bathroom while you wait.
Mm-hmm.
But I began to love hotels, like their
Their bathroom.
bathrooms. I'm like, what? I would always rate their bathrooms and be happy when someone would stay there, but I would always New York, you can't poop anywhere.
Exactly. You're in the city. Yeah, you really gotta like find somewhere.
Find the hotels where you can poop, and it was great.
But you have to always make sure you walk in there as if like
You own the place.
exactly. Don't walk in there like a fan and be like, oh my god, because then they're gonna catch on and gonna ask you to leave. So walk in there
One at a time.
exactly. Don't go in a group, and especially if you guys are teenagers, they'll know.
Yeah.
They'll know. If there's a group of teenagers walking around aimlessly and not walking like, okay, we're just trying to like be somewhere, they'll know and they'll be like, do you have any business being here? And if you can't think of an excuse, then you're getting kicked out.
Also, side note, this is our retired, much more mature, and like this is also like my motherly side coming out. If you are
Mm-hmm.
a teen and you're staying outside of a hotel for somebody that like you're a fan of, and if they give you some kind of like attention or like invite you like in, but like just you and stuff like that, that's when you kind of need to take a step back. Like, remember
Exactly.
you're underage. This,
Mm-hmm.
like, you don't even like know this person, you know? And they're
Mm-hmm.
inviting you to a private room. So that's when like you hear all these stories about like people like using their power over you and like taking advantage and stuff. So just be safe about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I I remember always telling my mom where I was going. Um, but I wouldn't be like, I mean, I would say hotel, but I'd be like, I'm with my friends and we're just outside. And my mom would be like, this is what you're doing with your time and my money. And I'm like, yes. But it's helping me learn Manhattan so that when I do get a full-time job here and when I go to school here, it'll be okay. And I got away with it. That was like an unpaid internship for us.
A very, very, very much unpaid internship. Yes. But yeah, guys, these are the rules of thumb. Just remember, if you're gonna try and meet them at if you live in a city, or anything, meet them at radio stations, Today shows, tonight shows, the venue. If you're going to the venue, get them at sound check. Don't get them after, because they're not gonna. It's gonna be really iffy if they get them. Find the hotels. If you're gonna be finding hotels, be secret about it. Don't tell everybody, because everybody gonna show up. Should we bring up the drama? I don't know if she would bring up the drama among people in our group or people who used to be in our group. I don't know if we should, but
wait, can we just edit this part out? I have to pee so bad.
Okay, that's fine. Chris is gonna
no, it's starting to hurt. Wait, but you think about whether we should bring them up. You can bring them up, but I don't know if you want to say names. Oh my god, I have to pee so fucking bad.
Chris is back from her bathroom break. She survived, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, like the drama that we had. Can we talk about the drama? I'll just change the name.
We can change her name, but we can talk about it. I mean,
we'll call her.
We're gonna talk about a lot of juicy stuff on here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna call her Martha.
Yeah.
So Martha was I met her chasing after the wanted, right? And I brought her into the fan group. And
isn't Martha a fan of Big Time Rush?
I realized that after. So she was also there for Big Time Rush after. Like she knew another person that a lot of people didn't like because she was getting all the clout from Kendall. But they weren't good friends because that girl wasn't really good friends to Martha.
Got it.
So, I mean, I don't know. So, with Martha, me and Martha were both J girls. So, what we would do with everyone, we would all dispatch and we find out whatever. She'll text me and be like, where you're going to be. I'm like, we're going to be here in the time of the third, pull up. And we're all make sure we all get it done as a collective, and we all get something to eat after, like we're friends and stuff. So after the wanted started dying down, because obviously like One Direction is just so monopolized the whole business of it, Martha and a few of my friends that I brought Martha and these two people together, so I was a group of them, they started liking the 975, and I'm like, that's cool. Is what it is. They were obsessed with the 975. They made the 975 as if they were like boy bands. A lot of them like to do that too. Like the same way where it's just like, oh, I really like this band member, and I'll talk about this band member and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay. So the thing is, apparently Martha got into like those other two girls here, and she said, Martha didn't like me. I didn't know that at the time. So when it came to 975 and they were like, this is our thing, and I started listening to their music, I was like, hey, this is up my alley. This is my jam. They started like counting me out on 975. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you guys just like keeping me out of the loop and not informing me with anything, or just not talking to me in general? And I'm like, well, why isn't Martha not talking to me anymore? But then Martha would talk to my other friends that she made friends through me, and another person that she made friends through me. And eventually that friend was like, well, Martha doesn't like you, and Martha never really liked you. And I was like, what? And she was like, Martha never liked how you always like the way how you talk to Jay, the way how you talk to like the manager, you talk to all these people. And then when a 975 came around, she didn't like how you asked Maddie. Because the thing is that when you're a broke fan, it never hurts. There's another rule for them. It never hurts to ask the band or the managers, like if you want to go that route, for a ticket. Because if you're out there and if you were able to have a good conversation, sometimes they don't even you don't even have to ask them. They'll ask you.
And there's always space on the guest list.
Yes. Like sometimes if you're able to meet them at a good point of the day and they're in like a good mood and you had a good conversation with them, they'll ask. They're like, hey, so are you going to the show? And you'd be like, no, it sold out fast. I didn't get a ticket, or I couldn't afford the show. They'll put you on the guest list just for being a chill fan.
With a +1. Thanks for inviting me.
Always with a +1. Corisa is always a neutral good, so I always invited Corisa.
I'm always the +1 in all aspects of my life.
So like that helps a lot. Like if you wanted to get like, if you want to get free shit, make sure that you're a chill person. And if you want to ask, sometimes I do ask. I personally ask. Like I'll go to managers or I'll go to people that they work with, and I'll be like, hey, like, do you guys have a guest list? Because I wasn't able to get a ticket, and that's valid. Because tickets was
Even do it for like radio things where like you can only win your way in.
mm-hmm.
They can put you on their like special list.
Exactly. And it's not like it's unfair or anything, but it's an actual truth because tickets will sell out and people will buy tickets and scalp the ticket. So it's just like if you were really like in the tight pinch, you couldn't afford it. And if you're able to meet, them before the show or something, and you were like, hey, yeah, I wasn't able to, would you mind if you have like any extra? Because they're always going to have their estimated amount of tickets that they're going to sell, and they're going to have tickets set aside for their family members and like people in the industry. And always going to be like one or two, or it's just like invisible like guest tickets where it's just like you go by name, and as long as your name is on the guest list, then they're just like you get in. So there's always something like that.
So you just have to be super casual, and even if you're just meeting them, or like Yasmin said, if they're up and coming and you do have the chance to like talk to them, actually talk to them, get to know them. Don't necessarily, I mean, yes, express your admiration and like what their album did for you or whatever. But like actually like ask them like how was your day? These are normal people. I feel like a lot of people, even me myself when I was in the game, I would just be like, hi, can I get a photo? Great, thanks, bye, and walk away. Like they were just like a statue at the Met, you know. Except now I kind of do sometimes talk to the statues because they're lonely at night. No one's there. If there was a job to watch them at night, kind of like Night at the Museum, I would totally do it.
That's what I try to do. Like I try to think of like at least 3 conversation starters to at least have that before, and I constantly like recite them, these topics over and over and over again. So it's not like I'm just like, hi again, you remember me from last time, I'm here to get another photo with you or something. Like I'm like, so what's going on in your life, or mention something.
What was the very last time?
I think we went for Bastille.
Oh, at 92.3?
Yeah.
Well, you got me in. That's the thing. You got
That's another thing. I got her in again. Granted, like people think that I'm very chill with them. I'm like, no, I have high anxiety. My anxiety was high, but I still was like, okay, I know Dan knows me. Also, for all you people of color out there, fangirls, fanboys, non-binary, whatever, if you're a person of color chasing after mainly white bands and white boy bands or like other people of color, it really pays to be the darkest person in the room. It really is rewarding being the darkest person. You would think, oh, I'm at this 1D thing, or I'm at this whatever thing, and I'm like the darkest, I'm only the blackest person. Girl, that's beneficial. Boy, that's beneficial. Because when you're waiting out there, they're going to remember you. Because a sea of all those white faces, they're going to remember
the same
you.
Outfit.
Wearing exactly.
With flannels tied around their waist. They will remember you.
They'll remember you. And I think that, and also if you're big girl like me, big and black girl like me, trust me, you're very memorable. You are rememberable. Especially if you were the chill big black girl, they'll get remembered.
And the example is that we've seen Bastille maybe like, I want to say 10 times, and I've been with Yaz. Okay, yes, granted, my weight has fluctuated, my acne has cleared up, and my hair color has been constantly changing. Every time I saw them, I had red hair. It wasn't until, I don't even think I've ever seen them with dark hair, but I'm always there, and they only remember her, which is perfectly fine for me because she's the one that does all the speaking anyways. I just stand there and admire Dan from aside, except I did not do that last year. I actually spoke to him, so I'm very proud of myself. And because I saw him, I was like, wow, this is just a regular adult man.
Because you're an adult now.
I know, it's weird. I literally could not speak to them because I was nervous that what I'd say would either come across as like weird or just be like unrelatable.
I mean, I don't know, because that's the thing with certain people. It's like, there may not be my favorite, but I'm like their favorite to talk to, and I'm like, I'm not here for you.
You don't have to rub this in my face. Like,
I'm not rubbing it in your face.
Dan
So, like,
loves her. He still to this day loves her, which I appreciate,
like,
and I can see why. But
I'm not. That's the thing, because like that's the thing when you. That's another. I feel like the only downside of liking of someone in a band that's not like the favorite of everyone is that they think in their brains, okay, the lead is going to get more, therefore I don't have to be outside and talk to people.
For sure.
Because they'll just do all of that. All I got to do is just walk in the hotel. And I'm just like, wait, no, I'm waiting for you. I'm not waiting for this person.
Yeah, and they get that complex too, which kind of like sucks. Like we are a team, but in most of these cases, yeah, like the underappreciated ones will just go straight into the van, straight into the hotel, straight into the restaurant. They'll just go straight in because they've accepted that y'all aren't waiting for them. And the one that's everyone's favorite kind of like in their mind assumes too, like, oh, they're waiting for me.
Exactly. And the thing that, especially when you have like grown adult bands where they're just like, all right, I'm kind of like not in the mood to talk to people. So like, yeah, I'm fine that the lead singer is like in all like the clout and hype, because I can just do, perform how I want to perform and then just like dip, which also hurts my heart because the bassist for Bastille, Will, I'm in love with that man, despite him being engaged to his wonderful, beautiful wife or fiance or whatever. I was in love with that man.
But she is a beautiful Black woman, and we've always known that was his type. So I would always be like, yes, you gotta lock this man down. You're an adult, he's an adult, y'all vibe. And he's a very like sensual person. Like when he talks, it's like, I mean, he's not like my cutie, but I can see it. He's got the scruff, he's got a little pudge, which Yasmine is like, okay, well, we'll have a podcast on what we like and what we don't like, but like he was everything.
Be that. You want to be my type, be that. But
hitting me.
Like, but then I always had Dan come up and talk to me, and I'm just, talk to Corisa, please.
I'd be in the corner with my back towards them. I'd be like, don't look at me, I'm not worthy.
Right, like he'll go, like I would be like, oh, hi, Will, and I'd be super nervous not to speak to Will because he'd just like have like this energy about him that I just get so intimidated. I'm like, oh, hi, Will, and he's just like, hi, I'm like, I'm okay.
He has such like a smooth, like,
barely.
He's like the opposite of Seth Rogen's voice.
But I love Seth Rogen though.
I know, he's like, that's like your spectrum.
Yeah. That's my spectrum. But like,
wait, I think Will was always your favorite though. So that's the problem. I think because, and this goes to show that it might be a continuous battle because every single time we met them, Will was either nowhere to be found or he dipped very quickly. Probably we saw them once or twice and we've accepted that that's our fate. He literally was never there. So right from the start, she was doomed. For Dan to think that, she was there for him.
So that's why I'm just, I think because I talked to him, that's why I think he's just like, oh, she must be like, I must be her babe. And I'm like, no, because you're the only person who gives us time of day. That's why. I mean, granted, he gets us in the shows. So it's best to be on Dan's side.
Real. We like buy the albums and we're not like creepy. And we also just jam so hard. To their
exactly
music. Girl. Oof. Well, I still
like the last
album in the car.
What was that?
I said I still listen to their album in the car.
Exactly. Like, I mean, granted, the last time I had a whole conversation, which I never get to have with fan members of any sort, and I'm like, where's Corisa? Because I mentioned astrology and everything to this man, and he's looking at me like,
I remember you were talking to him about your relationship too.
Right? And I was just like, I had a breakup, and this song is like my breakup, and I'm just like, you were really like touching like my Cancer moon, and you're a Cancer, so I understand. He's just like, I don't. He's just like, well, I'm gonna go eat, but thank you.
No, he was more sincere, but yeah, he definitely was probably a hungry man.
Yeah, he was just like, I could tell he was a singer artist, but he was like, can I eat now? But either way, it was nice, but I'm just like, Carissa should be having this time, and not me.
I'm okay to live vicariously through you. Like you win some, you lose some, you win vicariously through others. So
I mean, it doesn't matter because Carissa's gonna get into the show.
yeah, that's all. I remember that day you told me I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to get you in. Just be ready in case I do get you in because you only gave me like an hour like notice. Remember? Like they just like got in. So I was ready. I wore like this black like V like A-line top and I had my skirt on.
He was ready.
I was ready, waiting by my phone, anxiously waiting. And then finally, I got you in. Mom, I'm leaving.
He was like, I'm just waiting for that text. Because I was just like, okay, just be close, you know, be dressed. And then it was like a long pause, and I was like, I got you in, let's go. And you're like, oh wait.
No, I wrote you know.
Yeah, that's all that stuff.
My whole keyboard.
Yeah, I don't like play when it comes to like trying to get tickets. How to get tickets? I do not play games because it's like you really have to finesse it. We're from New York City. We finesse everything. So we have to finesse these free tickets if we're broke. So that being said, I think our time is up on like this first episode of our podcast. Don't make it be everything.
Yes.
Don't make this be like there's some people who this is their lives and it's pretty sad.
For like the rest of their lives. And also if you're in a major city or, you know, sometimes you can meet people on vacation too. You can still use these tips, you know, like if you see them at a restaurant, walking down the street, you know, things like that. They're with their baby, you know.
Their family, no. Hands off. Don't do families.
Yeah, no families, no dogs. No, you just have to be respectful. A nice wave or a hi. You know, a picture isn't everything. You know, it's more about like human interaction that matters the most.
Exactly. And make friends. Don't always definitely make friends because it's definitely way more fun when you're doing it with a group of people. With that being said, at the end of the day, the girls will be all right. Right?
Yes. And thank you so much for listening this far.
Yes. Hope we will see you guys in next podcast episode. Bye, guys.
Bye. Follow us on Instagram. The girls are all right with just the letter R.
Yes. See y'all later.
Bye.